When 2020 and 2021 turned out to be arguably two of the bizarrest years in human history, 2022 scoffed and said, "Hold my beer." As it would turn out, real life was still more over the top than fiction. We'll pick our 6 favorite moments from cases we've covered in 2022, and there will be a few surprises along the way. I'm Tiffie Lou, and this is Absolutely Criminal. Number 6. Chandler Holderson was convicted of killing his parents, Bart and Krista, in July of 2021. He's the guy whose full-time job was faking having a full-time job. He claimed to be offered a prestigious position at SpaceX, among many other fabrications. His lies had been unraveled, and he decided the only solution was to eliminate his parents. He didn't really have an endgame strategy, but he was sure he had figured something out. All Chandler's fibs are out of this world, but our favorite whopper has to be the falsified fall down the stairs, which left the phony rocket surgeon crumpled and broken. That leads us to this favorite moment, recounting the injuries Chandler supposedly suffered.
One day his parents were home when they heard a loud thud. Upon investigating, they came upon a crumpled Chandler lying on the ground. He claimed to have fallen down the stairs and knocked his noggin, if that tumble was even true. His claimed injuries were certainly not. Among the consequences of alleged head injury were partial paralysis, an aneurysm, nerve damage, and a spinal injury. Most importantly, under no circumstances was Chandler to travel, whether by car or by plane. Before too long, the doctor told him he would need a colostomy bag. That sounds like a really terrible fall.
Chandler Holderson was sentenced to life in prison, and out of all the places he imagined himself, the state pen was probably not one of them. Number 5. Tallahassee attorney Daniel Markell was gunned down by 2 hired hitmen in 2014. As of this writing, they've been convicted and sentenced. Catherine Magbanua, girlfriend to Markell's brother-in-law, Charlie Adelson, was tried and convicted in 2022 after the jury in her first trial deadlocked. Charlie Adelson came from an outwardly successful family. He had a successful periodontal practice with his parents, and his sister, Wendy, was a successful attorney like her husband, who was Daniel Markell. They went through a devastating and bitter divorce, and she totally wasn't involved in his murder. I mean, who would do this?
Who would do this? I don't know.
Not Wendy. But she does enjoy a good joke. In fact, moments after her completely real and genuine reaction to finding out Dan was dead, she tells the detective a real knee slapper.
I made my brother, his name's Charlie, the one I'm really close to, he makes a lot of jokes in bad taste, and it was a joke he made. He bought the TV for me this morning that got broken, and I was talking to him about whether it made sense to pay to fix it or whether I should get a new one, and it was always his joke that, like, he knew Danny treated me badly, and it was always his joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV. I mean, he would never.
Charlie Adelson is now charged with facilitating the felony, and even though Wendy's completely innocent, She might be looking over her cold shoulder a little more often these days. 3 down. Who knows how many to go? Dr. Chuck is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Wendy Adelson has not been charged with a crime. Number 4. Sherry Papini must have studied deception with Chandler Holderson. Her lies were outrageous, and her exit plan was slim on details. She faked her own kidnapping in 2016 and used stereotypical descriptions to blame it on 2 mariachi-playing Mexican ladies who served her beans and rice. One of Sherry's mind cartoons was kind enough to let her go one day, however, and she showed up skinny, bloody, and branded on a roadside. All her abuse was self-imposed, except for the brand she allowed her ex-boyfriend, this guy, to burn into her flesh. She really commits to a role. Okay, so imagine you fake your kidnapping, spent 11 days with your ex doing God knows what when you weren't starving and smacking yourself. Then you make a miraculous reappearance on Thanksgiving Day, mind you, and spend the next few years lying every day to your incredibly relieved and loyal husband, Keith. One day, authorities ask you to come down and talk things over. When you arrive, they announce they found the perpetrator. Sweet and supportive Keith practically does a happy dance as you and the investigators across the table exchange knowing glances. Your stomach falls through your chair and onto the floor as you realize what's about to happen. Here are a few excerpts from those uncomfortable conversations.
We're not sure whether or not Sherry's a believer, but it was time to come to Jesus.
It led us to a specific person, but not a female.
Sherry was about to engage in a game of high-stakes chicken. They knew, she knew they knew, but she couldn't let on she knew they knew she knew.
His family then told us specific things. So if we can talk with Keith or without Keith here, what would you like? It's completely up to you.
As time expired, detectives revealed to Keith the identity of the foreign male DNA on his wife's undies. It was her ex-boyfriend.
If you're having more fun than Sherry Papini, please hit thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It will help support the channel and get us seen by more people. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, we've got mugs, shirts, and bloody bath mats, just in case you're weird like us. Number 3. There's certainly nothing funny about this next one, but it never fails to give us goosebumps. Meet Trevor Summers. Long story short, he kidnapped his estranged wife, Elisa Mathewson, and put her through days of torture, as her very survival was in doubt. She escaped with her life only to be put through the hell of being cross-examined by her attacker in court. You see, right after the prosecution examined their witness, Elisa, to put her words on the record, Trevor fired his lawyer so he could exact his control over her one more time. But Elisa Mathewson refused to be re-victimized, and this time she was the one with all the power, as she melted the monster's icy gaze with fiery indignation.
Did I threaten you to have sex?
You broke into my home in the middle of the night when I was sleeping, attacked me and tied me up. I take that as, yes, you threatened me to have sex with you. Yes.
I'm asking you specifically, before we had sex, did I threaten you or force you to have sex with me?
My answer is yes, you forced me to have sex with you.
Did I hold you down?
No.
Did I push you?
Not at that time of having sex, but prior to having sex, you did push me, you did hold me down, you did tie me up, you did attack me, and you did break into my home when I was sleeping. You raped me.
So you're calling it rape?
It is. That is the definition of rape. To come into someone's home and attack them and tie them up and then have sex with them, that is the definition of rape.
Since you're savvy subscribers, we know that whichever favorite moment we choose to be number 2, you'll have no doubt what's coming at number 1. It's really tough to choose because they're both very unique individuals. We've never met another human being quite like either of them, and if you have, we're incredibly sorry. My gosh. Okay, so here's number 2. And speaking of numerals, Math Boy Fly, a.k.a. Daryl Brooks, knows them all. He's got a rather uncommon denominator, and his court antics were unprecedented, but his crimes were horrific. He plowed his red SUV through the Waukesha Christmas Parade in 2021, striking dozens and killing 6. He had less than 0 remorse, charting new territory on the left side of the number line. Like Trevor, he represented himself and cross-examined more than one witness who shook with anger. The clown show was fascinating. However, our favorite moment from that trial came after 2 grueling weeks, when a remarkably patient Judge Jennifer Doro finally got her turn. She nearly sentenced him into the next millennium.
This court is imposing a life sentence without the possibility or eligibility for extended supervision consecutive to one another. 1 life sentence for Virginia Sorensen. 1 life sentence for Leanna Owen. 1 life sentence for Tamara Durand. 1 life sentence for Jane Kulik. 1 life sentence for Bill Hospel. 1 life sentence for Jackson Sparks.
Number 1 needs no introduction, and apparently has no intention of remorse either. If you're unfamiliar with the story, we have a whole playlist linked above. But unless your internet's been out for the past couple of years, you know that this is Sarah Boone, and she allegedly recorded her crime during an alcoholic blackout. The video appears to depict a callous and very drunk Sarah mocking the desperate cries of her boyfriend George Torres Jr. He was trapped inside a pulsating suitcase and begging her for his life. She just went on upstairs to bed, leaving him to suffocate. Our favorite Boone bit, bloody hands down, has to be when she was confronted by detectives with a video she likely didn't remember recording. But it was slowly coming back to her now, and she didn't appear to enjoy being confronted with her drunken deeds. Here's number 1, and you can actually pinpoint the moment reality sinks in, though you'd never know it by what she's saying.
Okay, so do you remember making any videos or maybe having any any photos, videos that you remember doing on your phone on Sunday?
I think I took a picture of a dog.
Okay. So, to your recollection, no videos on Sunday?
Not that I'm aware of.
So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
If you need to move it around, go ahead.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Sarah, I can't fucking breathe, babe.
Do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
And that's you, your voice.
Sarah, I can't fucking breathe, babe. Seriously. Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me. Sarah.
I don't want to watch it, please.
Knowing that the last time you saw him was in the suitcase, 30 minutes later, you're like, maybe I should go check on him? Maybe I shouldn't?
No.
Well, that didn't cross your mind because it didn't happen.
That's like an assumption. Like, that's what you all are thinking. Just.
We're asking.
It's the whole.
You tell us.
It's the drinking. That's what it is. It's the drinking.
Thank you so much for watching. And if you're one of our nearly 5,000 subscribers, you've provided us with many more of our favorite moments from last year. We love you. We'll be back next week with a regular episode. Until then, please enjoy one of the following episodes we think you'd like, and let the darkness come alive.